And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the lunch table. It's lunchtime, and I am so looking forward to our conversation that we're going to have today. Today, we're going to take a sip and we're going to celebrate spring. So, happy spring to all of you. When you think of spring, of course, you're thinking about the weather, your flowers, how the house looks outside. And of course, we have to keep things going inside as well. So I am just so excited that we're going to be able to sit down, have a conversation, and take a look at all of the fun things that are going to go on today, right here. Now, first of all, we want to make sure that we are very um, intentional about the things that we're doing within our kitchen. So, I had a little plan that I've put together, and I'm going to bring that to you. We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to add to the stream for those of you who are not able to see what we're talking about. Good morning or good afternoon at this point. Happy spring. And yes, huh? Sorry, guys. I don't think the big guy knew that I was already on the show. But anyway, we're going to take a look at all of the fun things that we need to do. And we want to think in the mindset that it is fun. When we're doing things for our family, then we have to have a positive attitude as we're putting all of that together and in place and the things that we do. Sometimes housework and cooking in the kitchen may not necessarily be your most fun thing to do, but if you have a certain mindset, a certain attitude, and you kind of have to develop that so that you can go into your kitchen, come into your home, and have a pleasant place. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. So I'm hoping that I can get all of our slides in. I'm going to try to put them all in. We want to take a look first at the fact that we want to be steady in the things that we're doing. We want to be intentional with what we're doing. And we want to be persistent in making sure that we're determined and planned and diligent about how we set up our homes and the things that we do. So I am just really excited about that sip. Here's our sip. And steady, intentional, and persistent in the things that we're doing within our home and for our family. Hello, hello. We've got Michelle in today. Hello, Michelle. Happy Monday to you and happy spring. We've got Tamral in. Hello, hello. And I'm looking forward to those that are going to be coming in. Some aren't necessarily chatting in the chat box, but that's okay because some people are still working, even though they may be watching the show at the same time, and that's okay. I'm good with that. So we're gonna keep going. So let's talk a little bit. We're going to talk about some tips that we can use, and some of these we've talked about before, but it's spring. It's a refresh. We may want to revisit some of these things because it's a different season. And when you have a different season, then there are some things that you might want to do differently. And your schedules might change because the children's schedules are changing. And or your hubby's schedule or even yours may be changing. So we've got to we've got to keep those things first and foremost in our mind, not just ourselves, but we've got to think about everybody else in the household. Now, so we're going to talk about how to experience your best week ever. I'm saying it like my granddaughters say. We want the best ever. That's their thing, and it's so funny to listen to. But anyway, so we're gonna be looking at our best week, and as we think about our best week, it has to start with us. It has to start within us. And we want to, first of all, think about the fact that how we start the day has a lot to do with how we end the day, and whether or not by the time we get to the end of the day that it's a positive feeling, that you're feeling good about the things that have gone on throughout the day. So we're going to talk about that. So we're going to start really basic. We're going to begin our day with a fresh you. That means showered, hair combed, whatever style you decide you want. I'm not talking about something that has to look like Mrs. Vanderbilt when you walk out of the bathroom. We're talking ponytail, whatever, something neat. And you're going to dress. You're going to have on whatever it is that you're going to wear throughout the day. If you know that you're going to be accomplishing tasks that's going to involve a little scrubbing and cleaning or bleaching or whatever it may be, then you'll dress accordingly. But you're dressed. Staying in your jammies is not an option, because when you do that, there's something psychological that goes on that just, pajamas, when you put your pajamas on, that says to you, I'm getting ready, I'm slowing down, and I'm quieting my mind, and I'm getting ready to go to bed. Having your jammies on all day is not exactly the same mindset that you want to have when you're starting the day. Remember, this is your time to be fresh. You're coming out of that shower. So you want to make sure that what you're putting on speaks that. It speaks it to you internally. It speaks it to your mind and your mindset, and it speaks it to your family. When I'm still in my jammies and it's past, say, 9 o'clock, I'm sick. I'm sick, and I'm not feeling well. I may be considering going back to bed. Those are the things that we might be thinking about. Good, Marlene. It's good to see you. Hello, Tutu. Uh, so we are excited. We want to have a fresh new feel, a fresh new face when we get ready for the day. Now, my suggestion also is to have a power moment. Now, you're saying a power moment? Well, the power moment is taking the time to to have meditation, to meditate, to have a quiet moment. It may be your time to pray. It may be your time to read encouraging, inspirational, a little short blurb. Um, I'm trying to think of the little book. Sometimes we get uh, in the grocery, and I can't deny that I just finished up, but it had little short daily inspirational reads. Have a power moment. It may be that you're going back over the scripture that you had from Sunday's lesson, and you want to get that into your spirit, into your mind. That's your power moment. It may be that you're looking at the points that were given for Sunday that you found valuable, your golden nuggets for that day. And in order for it to become really incorporated in you, you might want to reread those 3 points or 4 points, whatever it may be, because I typically jot down whatever the points are. So that gives me a chance to go back and to go back over it. So a power moment. Now, all of this, you're showering, you're dressing, your power moment, that's your hour. That's your time. And does it mean you might have to get up, especially if you have some children you need to get out and out the door and ready to go? It may mean that you may need to get up before they do. And that gives you the option of being able to do that. Or you may save the power moment after they have gotten out the door. And that gives you just a quiet bit of time to be able to focus on the internal you. All of us need a moment to take a look at what's going on inside, what's going on inside our head, what's going on inside of our bodies. That power moment. And that power moment should leave you energized and inspired and ready to go. Hello, hello. Let me say hello to those who have come in. We've got Marlene, who's here, and she's on her lunch break. We have Sue, who's here with us this afternoon at the lunch table. Hello. We have Patricia, who's with us. Well, I am so glad, Patricia, that you're here today. And we can't always be at the table, but we are happy when you are. So I am very happy to have you today. We have Florence who's with us. Hello, she's listening while she's working. Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm just glad to have all of you here at the lunch table, because that gives us opportunities to be able to build on what we want to do and what we have before us to do. So let's get to it. Next, this is probably the most important thing that I'm going to say today, that we all need a plan for the day. And that involves getting your planner. You can actually do this the night before you go to bed. Sit down with your planner. Sometimes I take my planner up, and while I'm kind of getting quiet, I'll sit right there in the bed and jot down those things as I look at the week, particularly Sunday evening. I'll jot down those things that I, first of all, know that I have to do for the week. That may be certain places I am expected to be. Like on Tuesday, I have choir rehearsal. On Wednesdays, I'm at Bethel AME. On Thursday, I've got something else that has to go on. On Friday, I've got a doctor's appointment. Those kind of things. Or it could be that the kids have track on a certain day, or they're swimming, or they may have tutoring at a certain time during the day. Those are the things that you're going to put into your planner first. And because those types of things, and it could be hubby's schedule that you need to put in, or your partner's schedule, or if you have a roommate, you may even need to jot down something that they're doing, because what that does is that it gives you an overall look, an overall picture of the week as to how everybody else is going to be worked into the big plan, the master plan for the week, so to speak. Now, I know for me, spring brings about certain activities that I don't have during the winter, and things that I don't have to do in the spring that I might have to do in the winter, and vice versa. So each season brings new activities, brings new expectations, good and bad, whatever it might be. We've got to work through that. So we want to be able to take a look at the overall week. Once we've taken a look at the overall week, then we can start to look day by day. And of course, we're going to look at Monday first, since I'm going to imagine, it was Sunday night. And we're going to look at Monday. For Monday, we can be very defined because at this point, we want to know, okay, you got your morning routine, whatever your morning routine is. And that may be that once you've gotten you together, then you're ready to walk into your house. So we're going to look at that morning routine. We're going to look at the top 3 tasks that we want to accomplish throughout the day, for the day. And I'm going to say for the day, because it may be, I like little 10 to 15-minute increments to work. So whatever my task is, I'm going to clock myself, and keep it within that time period. And what that does is that at the end of the day, I can go back, look at that list and say, okay, whew, what a day. But I got check, check, and check because I finished my 3 tasks. Then at that point, I can look at Tuesday and say, now, what do I need to add to that? What else do I need to do? I can add that over on Tuesday. And so that's the way you'll move through your week. Now, another thing that's big is being able to keep that planner close. I keep mine right here in the kitchen, open, pen handy, and it's for me, but it's also for the family because sometimes they don't know what I have planned for the week. And so we want to be able to look at that. We want to be able to know what it is that we're going to be doing. Sometimes they need to know what we're going to be doing as well. And that gives us an opportunity to uh, educate them, let them see what we're doing. They may throw in and decide, well, Mom, can we help? What is it that we're doing? Sometimes some of the projects may actually involve them. So, you may have a task for the day and say you're trying to clean out the garage. And of course, we wouldn't want to put clean out the garage as for one task. We want to be able to kind of put that into increments because remember, we're going to spend about 10 to 15 minutes on it. So we're going to put it into smaller increments across the week. So my thought is that from Monday to Friday, by the time I get to Friday, the garage is clean. Okay. So the same would go with whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So if it's spring cleaning the kitchen, I'm going to do so much each day for the week. And by the end of the week, it's going to be done, So that's how we break things down. And that's how we're able to stay motivated because we're able to look at it and say, wow, look at all the things I got done. And once you finish, I like being finished by 12 noon with whatever the tasks are going to be for the day. And so by 12 noon, I can look back and say, okay, I accomplished this. This is done. This is done. And now I can think about something else for the afternoon. And typically we have something else that we need to do. So let's go. Now, this is where SIP comes in. We're taking that SIP. We're being persistent. We're being intentional. We're working steadily. And we want to be well planned. So we're going to work the plan. We're going to put the plan down on paper. We're going to know what it is that we have planned to do for the day. We're going to do a little planner check every now and then just to make sure that we stay on task. Because if you're like me, the phone rings. Or like when we started the show, the voice came from above that started to talk to me because he didn't know that I had gotten started with the show. And so because of that, a planner check is very helpful. you might have somebody to come by and drop by. And so you're cut in the middle of whatever you were trying to do. So you'd have to go back to your planner and say, okay, this was nice, but I need to get back to what I was supposed to do today. And so you have to do a planner check. And I can get lost in a pile of paper trying to keep paper clutter away, trying to clear the magazines out of the room, uh, trying to make sure I'm trying to declutter. I'm trying to do all those things. But decluttering, eliminating the magazines and the paper can get you lost because you start to sit there and thumb through very carefully whatever it is that you're looking at. And, you start to think about, oh, yes, this was just absolutely wonderful. And, huh, or you have one of those vacation magazines that takes you away. It's like being in your bathtub with Calgon. It just takes you to another whole continent. And at that point, you have lost it because you are thinking about whatever that place is, and time is just clicking away. And before you know it, you are past noon, past lunchtime, it's 2 o'clock, and it's like, where'd the day go? Now, so we've got to make sure that we work the plan. So when we put those papers together, we've got to be intentional about making sure that we're staying within our time frame, that we're listening when there's a ding of the bell. We know, cut it off. Tomorrow's another day. We'll finish up another stack tomorrow. So limit yourself, know your limits, and work it for you. Now, Marlene said that her boys work and are in nearby college, but they still live with us. So we have to put up with their schedules as well. And I remember those days. I certainly remember those days. And I'm trying to keep up with the kids' schedules and my schedules and the work. Sue says she likes the idea of doing the planner check every 2 hours because distractions happen. I know, Sue. You know, they happen. And even as intentional as you may be in trying to make sure that you're on task, you can get lost. You can get lost. I know I took the trash out. You'll laugh. I took the trash out. And I mean, I'm usually out, click, click, and done, back in. Well, my neighbor just happened to be out. And we ended up in an over the fence conversation. Well, I thought I was just out there a few minutes. And when I got back in the house, 30 minutes had gone by. And it was like, whoa, did I talk that long? You know, so things like that happen. So we just have to try to reel it back in and bringing ourselves to a point of where we can say, okay, I took a little more time than I wanted to, but I am going, you got to be persistent. I am going to get this done. And that's what we just have to push forward. Now, we're working our plans. We've got our time limit. We've got our planner checks because it's all about, remember that mindset. We want that encouraged. Now, we're breaking our big task into 15-minute blocks to complete within the week. And, that goes for cleaning the house, put it into tasks that you can do each day. Now, I know if you work every day, and I did, I worked for a very long time, almost 37 years. And coming home from work, I usually had certain things that I would do each day. When I walked into the door, I would come in. I knew I had a certain day that I vacuumed. So I broke mine down like that. I vacuumed one day, I dusted one day. Um, major decluttering was kind of a project, so I can't really put that in there. But I did sweep the house, what I call sweep the house, to make sure that there was no clutter sitting around, like socks here, shoes here, a toy here, those kind of things. So I could sweep the house and make sure that things were picked up, hung up, put where they're supposed to be. Those were the kind of things that I could do. And pretty much I was able to get most of it done at least within a 15 to 30-minute block. That was with when I worked. Now, I have a little more ease of the day, so I can break the major task into 15-minute blocks. So I cheated. I got a robot to do the vacuuming. So that part I don't worry about. But I still have to dust. I still have to clean the mirrors and the glass. I still have to make sure the beds are made, the laundry's an everyday thing that with for us. And but those are things that we're developing those lists for. And so being able to break those tasks down, put it on paper, know what your tasks are, then you can decide. If you have a doctor's appointment at 9 o'clock in the morning, then more than likely you're not going to finish all your tasks that morning. So once you get back, you've had lunch, you've had a minute to go, then you can finish up one or two of those tasks, those 15-minute tasks that you needed to do. Because you know the doctor's visit is never as quick as you think it's going to be. And it usually ends up taking a little longer time than what you think. And it may not be you having to go to the doctor. It may be that you have to take one of your little ones to the doctor. And so, if that's the case, or your hubby to the doctor. I know I go with mine. And just for support, not because I have to, but for support. And but once I get back, I know what my tasks are, and then I start to work the plan. So the planner check every 2 hours helps to keep us intentional about what we're doing. Now, here's something you probably don't think of. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, you might do it before you leave your kitchen in the evening. When you've cleaned up the kitchen, it looks nice. The family's doing what the families usually does at the end of at in the evening. And you're kind of stopping for a moment. You have a stop moment to be able to say, whew, this has been quite a day. And you look at your planner, it's your last planner check for the day. This is when you can start to celebrate. And yes, we should celebrate those things that we want to get done. Have a celebration. It may mean that if nothing else, that's when you can take the glasses off. You can start to take the hair down. This is when you think about, okay, when everybody's out of that shower, it's my time. I'm going to go and I'm going to have a bath moment and throw a bath bomb in and just soak. It may be your time that you have your favorite program that you want to watch, but that's your celebration time in the evening. Or it may be that you're just going to spend the evening cuddled up with hubby and you're going to watch whatever the movie is that you want to watch for an evening, or you have a favorite book that you want to read. That's your time to celebrate because you know you have accomplished what you had planned. This is also the time where you can look at your planner and say, okay, I am so excited about the fact I got this done. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to continue with da 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 and add those items to your list as to what you have planned that you're going to do. Be sure to celebrate your day. Now, Michelle said that she's still homeschooling three with five kids at home. Woo, Michelle, bless your heart. So the kids rotate which room that they're responsible for each week. She said they take breaks during the school day to work on tasks in their chore room. That is a great idea. And that is really a good family time. It really brings the family together because and that's how I approach those times. We're working together, guys, so we can get these things done. And it lets them know that we're doing this, we're doing it together, where everybody's responsible, everybody's a part of the family, and it takes all of us for this to happen, for us to be able to go to maybe you're going to go to the movies for the weekend. Well, in order for us to spend Saturday at the movies and maybe a lunch or a dinner, then we've got to make sure that we've done everything we were supposed to do for the week. So chores have to be done. So you know you're absolutely right. Many hands make light work. And that saves you. Plus it's a learning experience. It's a teaching experience because your children are learning the skills that they need so that once they leave your home, they know how to clean. They know how to, in some cases, they know how to cook. You know, they know how to rake the yard. They know how to shovel snow, if that's the case. You know, they know what the tasks are and they know how to do it. And that's great because so many people do not know what to do, and it's so sad. So I'm giving you a little example of what I try to do, and I like to share, but I also want to tell you some of the things that I'm trying. First, I always try to start the day with a clean kitchen. And most of the time, I'll say 90% of the time, when I walk into this kitchen, it's clean. And when I walk into this kitchen, I've already taken care of all the personal things, of the shower, the dressing, and the morning power moment. So once I come in here, this is my starting point. The coffee gets turned on. Um, and then it's something about when I click that button to turn the coffee on, I go straight to the planner and to see, okay, this is Monday. What do I need to do? What are we celebrating? What's the holiday? What's going to be for dinner? I'm looking at all of those things. Like today, I had, fortunately, on Saturday, when we were in the kitchen, all of us were in the kitchen, I had already prepared today's dinner. So the good news is that today I don't have to worry about dinner. That's not something I really have to do from scratch. I just have to do a warm up and dinner's ready. But what I am going to do is that I'm going to prep for tomorrow because I have a crock pot meal I'm going to be doing. And so I got everything prepped for the crock pot. That was one of the things I needed to do. So I made sure I had that down. The nice thing about making sure that you have your week planned out is that you put it on paper. Now, paper, if things change, you draw a line through it and change it. That's a nice thing about it. It's not like it's etched in stone because it isn't. But having that clean kitchen gives you a fresh start. And typically, having that clean kitchen makes you smile because you know what it looked like when you started dinner or you were in the middle of dinner. Everybody's up and moving, and the dishes and the whole to do, and there was a lot to do. But once you get to that point, if you've left it clean the night before, I try to start the dishwasher the night before, and so when I come in, hit the button for the coffee, then I can check the planner, open the dishwasher, put the dishes up, and I'm really ready to start the day. Now, those special appointments, keep them in your planner. And I'm bad about the fact that, when you leave the doctor's office and they give you that little card. They give you that little tiny card to with your date and time for whatever the appointment is, whether it's the dentist, whether it's the orthodontist, whatever it may be. But they're going to give you that little card. Well, you try your best not to lose it. So the best thing is that as soon as you get home, if you don't carry your planner with you all the time, you may put it on your phone. But for me, putting it on the phone, I do that and I ask for a notice, but I want to be able to see it. So because of that, because I'm a visual person, so because of that, when I come in, it goes straight into the planner. So I can look at it. And I even staple the card on the day so that I have both reminders there. So that helps me to be where I'm supposed to be on time. That's a good thing. Then do a house walkthrough. You can take a laundry basket with you, or if you have an available box, take that with you. And if you see things as you're walking through the house, put them in the box. Put them in the box. Put it in the box, whatever's not where it's supposed to be. And sometimes it happens. And it could be a pair of shoes that somebody kicked off and they should have taken it to the room. They forgot. And so in the box, it could be some mail that has been sitting around in the box. And then once you collect it and you finish your walkthrough, then you can start to place things back where they're supposed to go, or give them to the people that they belong to and have them put them back. Because what that tends to do is to remind them, please don't leave this here. Make sure you put it where you're supposed to. And you don't, most of the time you won't even have to say anything. If they left their tennis shoes and socks in the middle of wherever, and you hand them the tennis shoes and socks, the brain clicks and they go, I don't want to do that again. Okay, mom, okay. And they're off to their room to put it where it's supposed to be. So that's a good thing. Try, if at all possible, if you're a stay-at-home mom or you are working from home mom, and if you have the time, try your best to finish your 3 tasks before lunch. Now, sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes your 3 tasks might have to be finished after work. Now, if that's the case, then solicit assistance. That's when you call in the assistance. You have maybe you're calling your son to sweep the floors. You might call in your daughter to there. If you might ask them to dust upstairs. And of course, then typically every other day or so, you'll say, please go in your room and straighten up your room. And so that helps tremendously, just having that assistance. But remember, this is spring. So they're feeling that feeling of spring as well. The I can't even say it. The anticipation of being refreshed. The warmth is coming. It's not warm today where I am, and I'm hoping it's warmer where you are, but it's certainly not warm today. But I know it's coming because I'm starting to see signs of spring. We've even got a little bit of pollen going on here. And for us, that's just a little bit early, but it's coming. I know spring is coming. And little buds are forming. And in some cases, because the weather's been a little unusually warm throughout March, we had some things that were starting to bud a little early. So I'm just thankful that we didn't have a real frost yet that might kill them, because that would be unfortunate. So we want to be able to keep everyone happy within our home. Now, um, Tamara is also one who homeschools. And she's telling us here her oldest two with the youngest, um, youngest set. She has them running around. And so part of their learning is learning home management. That's wonderful. And helping in the home. And you know what? I think that's valuable. Moms, that's valuable. And thank you. And I'm telling you from the standpoint of a very, very long career as an educator, it's valuable when children have responsibilities at home, when they enter the other part of the world, not just home, but they're in other parts of the world. Maybe at a certain point, they may go from homeschooling into, say, at high school, go into an actual high school. It's valuable. You can tell the difference in students who have had that home management, home expectations. Those students who have had that are very different from students who haven't. They have a whole different mindset. They are very cooperative. They are able to organize more easily. They're able to accomplish tasks more easily because they understand the process of starting at point A and going to point Z. And it's just a little encouragement along the way, but they know how to work. Teamwork. They're able to work together. You've worked at home as a family. They can certainly go into their school world or work world, whatever the case may be, and they are able to work well in those situations because you've already prepared them. So I congratulate you because that's valuable. That's a valuable lesson. And it is one that you can't get easily anywhere else. When you start them little and you're encouraging and come help mommy do such and such, you know, big brother, little brother, working together as a team. Come on, let's work. Let's get these toys picked up. It's a lesson. It's a fun lesson for most. And they have no idea that when they leave your doors, that those skills go with them. But you know it. And so that's why we do it. That's why we do it. Now, in the afternoon, in the afternoon, this goes back to those who are able to work in the home, who are stay-at-home moms, those who are working from home. This is you are able to do this as well. In most cases, you may have a minute or two. Sometimes 5 minutes is as valuable as an hour, you know, if you use it wisely. 5 minutes. If you know that you're going to say put a roast together for dinner, and it's about lunchtime, so you got the lunch going. This is a good time to do your chopping, dicing, slicing, all those good things, or whatever needs to be done. Have everything all prepped. If you're going to do a low and slow, you can get everything into the oven, get that roast into the oven and turn it down low and go back to work. And you will know when dinner is ready because you will be able to smell how delicious that particular roast is going to be, because as you're working, you got that fragrance that's going on, and your oven is doing the work for you. If you're starting out the day, you might decide you want to put it in your crock pot or in your Instapot or whatever, whichever tool that you may have or that you want to use. So that gives you an opportunity of being able to um, bring your family together. You're able to do it in such a way that if you're working in small bits, small time pieces, using the 5 minutes you have here. I know Marlene has a break, a lunch break, and we've got a couple other people who are on who they're sitting at their desk and they're working, but they're also listening while they're working. And so because of that, that enables them to be able to say, okay, I've got 5 minutes. During this 5 minutes, if I need to pull something from the freezer, if I need to take these out, get them in a bag to marinate them, do it now, throw it in the refrigerator, go on back to work, go do what you got to do. But you've done something that is going to be valuable at the end of the day. It may be that you're planning the big salad for dinner. And that involves a lot of chopping, dicing, slicing of vegetables. And so for every vegetable that you can get done, for all the chopping and dicing that you can get done in advance that day, if you have 5 or 10 minutes, use that time to do that. Throw it in your Ziploc bag or in a container and put it in the refrigerator for later so that you are ready when it's time to put dinner in. Our as moms or as dads, as the home cook, it's all about being ready for dinner at the end of the day. And you want it to be good. You want to be able to not feel stressed. I know early on, I can tell you, coming in on those days when I didn't have a chance to prep early, it I felt anxious preparing dinner, even though it might not have been that difficult. It was just that I knew there were things I should have been able to get done and didn't. And by the time I got to dinner, I was stressed. And especially when the kiddos start to circle, they start to circle. Mom, when's dinner? Mom, when's dinner? Mom, is dinner ready? You know the circle. You know the circle. They start coming through. They even bring the dogs and bring the toys and bring their bikes, those little bikes that they can actually get through the house in. We had skates and the little skates that they could romp around in the house. And so you'd hear them coming. You knew it. Then all of a sudden, you'd have hubby to come through the door. You could hear the turn of the key, and you go, oh, that exhausted you more than the entire day. Anytime you have to rush, or at least feel rushed, then you were exhausted. It was like it just wiped everything out of you. And your family needs as fresh of a person as they possibly can get. Fresh, a fresh mom. A fresh mom is one who was able to plan early, knew what dinner's going to be, had the groceries already there, had what she needed already there, didn't have to go to the grocery, came straight in, went to the refrigerator, didn't have to stand there like the kids and go, well, let's see, what are we going to have for dinner today? Because you knew you had sipped, sipped. You had made a steady effort, a steady movement. You were working intentionally so that your day would end on a celebration. And you were persistent because you kind of nudged your little ones to do the things they're supposed to do. You even nudged yourself to keep focused on the things that you needed to do. And when you do that, when you can sip, then you get to have a grand celebration. So today, as we celebrate spring, we think about the newness of spring. It's not that what we do is necessarily brand new. That's not necessarily the case. It may not be brand new. But the fun thing is that we want to start each day off fresh as possible. So that means we've got to make sure that we're well planned. And sometimes I'm sitting in the car, jotting down notes of those things that I need to do. So as soon as I come in, I can put them into the planner where they're supposed to go. And sometimes it's post-it notes, whatever it is. Sometimes it's the back of an envelope, that I'm writing things down because I don't want to forget. I want to make sure that I remember when it comes to you. I want to be able to put it down on paper. And that commits me. When it's down on paper, it's a commitment that I'm going to put it in, I'm going to get it done. I have to be persistent with that. And it's not that I'm pressuring myself, I just want to be persistent. Now, I'm hoping that each of you, as you have been thinking about today and thinking about spring, that you are thinking about, it will be in just a few minutes after lunchtime. So now's the time. Do you know what you're cooking for dinner? Do you have that already planned? Do you have everything in the house that you need? Those are the things that we want to be able to say yes to. Yes, I have that. Yes, I know what I'm going to be doing. And yes, I've done a planner check so that I've looked at my list. I've checked it twice to make sure that I've done what I was supposed to do. And I did my house walkthrough to make sure that there are no crazy things still sitting around here in the house that I need to make sure that I put away. And it could be a pile of laundry that's sitting somewhere that needs to get into the laundry room so that it can get into the laundry rotation. So all of that is always great. Now I see the menu ideas coming. What Patricia said for tonight, she's got her spaghetti sauce in the crock pot ready to go. Woohoo! And what else are you all cooking tonight? And the good thing about spaghetti sauce, Patricia, hopefully you got enough in there that you're going to have some for tonight, and you may have some for another night to be able to use as a leftover or to reinvent it into something else, something totally new. Spaghetti sauce is a great way. Of course, you can serve it over pasta, but you could also make chicken and drizzle the sauce over it to use up whatever sauce was left over. And so you've got options. So when you're making things like she's got spaghetti sauce, it gives us a chance to think about, okay, I want two meals out of that, and I want to be able to do it in such a way that, oh, good, good. She said, yes, she's got enough for that second meal. So that is fantastic. That's fantastic. That's a money saver and a time saver. And so it's just a matter of being able to, if you don't want to bring it back the same way it was the first time, then and let me stop there. You might even decide to say tonight, spaghetti is the main dish. And another night, it might just be a little side dish to go along with something else that you're prepping and that you're preparing for that particular night. Michelle said that she and the kids are making homemade pasta with whatever veggies that they need to use up. And so far, they've got eggplant, they've got peppers, onions, and tomatoes. Oh, that sounds wonderful, wonderful. And homemade pasta. I love it. I love it. And but you know what? I can tell you this story. Um, we talk at the lunch table all the time. And I so look forward to the time sitting down here at the lunch table because it is valuable. And oh, Carol said they have some delicious chicken with gravy over rice that they have left over. Yum 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 yum. I can't wait. I plan to have some of my chicken and mushroom gravy left over as well, Carol. And we're doing it over rice first. And we might have to do pasta the second time around, but we're gonna use that again. And I've got enough to be able to do that. But I was talking to some young people. I'll say young people because they're under 50. And they were talking about meals and menus and who can cook and who can't. And it was an absolute riot to listen to them and their perspective from uh, new cooks versus the fact that they've been married long enough to consider themselves as older cooks. They're not really seasoned cooks, not old seasoned cooks, but they are they're 40ish. So they've been in the game for a little while. So they've been married, and it's so funny. It's so funny that to listen to them because there's one in the group who is not married, and this particular person is. I don't think they're really out looking for a wife at this point, but if she happens along, then so be it. They're good with that. But this person has a friend who, bless her heart, she is like most of us. Most of us, when we first got married, we weren't nearly the cooks that we are today. Everyone has to have a starting point. And the unfortunate thing was that for her, um, she doesn't have the kind of community that a lot of us have. And she hasn't learned because of her work schedule. She doesn't have the time to spend at this point trying to find her favorites on the internet or on YouTube where she can find those great dishes. And so she's struggling a little bit. And it was so cute because they all looked and looked and said, she needs help, you need to help her. And so I laughed. I said, well, I'm more than willing, always willing to do that. But you don't want to, you don't want them to make them feel bad. So tell me if I gave them the right suggestion. I said, go in the kitchen together and do it together because he seems to have a little more has more kitchen skills than she does. And if they do it together, then that develops the relationship and the partnership because they're working together. And I'm hoping that that was a good start because I think they um, they have to start somewhere. And I can think back, even the big guy kicked in and he told him, he said, listen, there were a couple of dishes that I can tell you. He says, you can see now it's not an issue. He said, but those first couple of weeks were a little rocky, a little rocky. It was a hit and a miss. This was good, that wasn't so much. And so he said, but I had to be patient. I had to be patient and, kind of offer suggestions. Let's try so and so. And are saying, oh, I was in a magazine, and he's still good about this. When he's looking through magazines, if he finds something that looks delicious to him, he's on it. He says, "Oh, honey, this looks really good. Will you try that?" And I'll say, "Sure, sure, I'll try that." And so, you know, that's fun because you're trying to do something for him. And that's what I told him. I said, then she feels like she's a part of it and she's doing something for you. And I said, if she follows that recipe the way it's written, most of the time it's going to come out. I said, but encourage her to taste. When you taste, then at least make sure that it's, salted, has a good flavor, those kind of things. Those are things she should know. And I said, or you come through and say, let me taste. And she'll think that's so cute. And so let me taste it and say, it's missing. Can you add a little garlic? You know, add a little pepper and just offer little suggestions. And then mentally she's thinking, okay, I'm working this and he likes it. I just need to add this. Uh, then it's a win-win on both sides. I'm hoping that was the best advice I could give. my daughter, my daughter told her, send her to mom's channel. She'll get a lot. Thank you, Patricia. They have to learn and laugh together. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. We are trying to learn together, to laugh together. All of us, we're friends, we're community, and nobody wants to isolate anybody. We have people who are in our community that are young, who are just learning. We have friends who are in our community who have been at it for quite a while. And, it's a variety. And so together, we're stronger. And that's what we want, a strong community. Michelle, I appreciate your kind thoughts. And we are certainly, I'm sharing what I know. You're sharing with me what you know, and we are building on that. We are building our families. We're building up each other. Most of all, we're building each other, and we're letting each other know that it's okay. Today might not have been your all-star day, but tomorrow can be. And all you have to do is change this or add this, tweak this, and you're ready to go. So our spring refresh is on. It's on. And we are refreshing. And it's we're gonna put on our sunglasses because the sun is shining, even though it's cold. The sun is shining. We're gonna take the beans and we're gonna roll with it. So, girls, we have been at this lunch table for an hour, and I am hoping that you have enjoyed today. I certainly have. And I'm ready for spring. I'm ready to get into it. And not only here in the kitchen, but I've got some things that I need to do outside and get ready so that my summer kitchen has lots of freshness, and maybe even late spring has a lot of freshness coming into the garden. So, God bless all of you. I hope you have a wonderful week. And I can't wait to see you Saturday. We're going to be doing something fun. So get cooking, take your sip, get your sip going. We're going to be steady, intentional, and well planned. Have a wonderful week, and God bless you all. Mwah. See you soon.